Penny and I are back with another episode for the 6 Ps, actually 7 Ps, but we're doing 6 episodes about the Ps of marketing. And I'm going to hold up the mandala again for those who are watching on YouTube. So that's what we're talking about, the gentle marketing 7 Ps. And today we're talking about people. So welcome back, Penny. I'm so glad you're still here.
I'm here.
Wonderful. So let's talk about people. And the way I use the P for people is with this idea that we are talking about our ideal clients. So in marketing, we've always been told you got to start with your client avatar and know who they are. And so I started first with the passion and the personal power, because I think it's so important that we first actually know who we are before we go out there and say, look, this is my message, let me find clients. And so the idea is really to find people who resonate with our message, with our worldview. So that's the idea. And really, obviously, that means if we're just saying resonating, we're also thinking about energy, we're thinking about frequency. So you're the expert at that. Talk to us about those things, those non-physical things.
I think you're right on about this. And, I remember when I first started doing this work of spiritual work and intuitive counseling and so forth and trainings, I attracted the kind of clients that were at my level of sophistication. Mm. A lot of people think they have to be experts before they even put themselves out in the world. And I say, just do what you are, at this level, because there's always somebody there who's at that level too. Mm. So that is a resonance. Right. But then we evolve, we learn, we grow, and then at the next level, maybe you change the kind of product or service you're doing a little bit, skew it a little differently. And then you get people on that level. And it just it's like stair steps, you find people at those plateaus, each one you get to. So I think that's kind of natural. You don't have to oversell yourself too much.
Well, I think it's natural for you maybe, because I think the rest of us, and especially me, I definitely think we went into business. A lot of people go into business and think that they have to be experts, and they struggle with that idea because, again, it's the mainstream idea is that you can only have a business if you are an expert in something. Mm-hmm. And so it's this idea that we have to be not just experts, we have to be perfect. Everything has to seem to be perfect, right?
Right.
So I think a lot of people actually do struggle with that, and it's maybe not so natural if you come from the left brain
again, left brain stuff. Right. Yeah, I see that. And I see a lot of people in my field who are like spiritual teachers or healers or coaches and all that kind of advising type that really pump themselves up as like the know-all, be-all, end-all of, and again, it's kind of the celebrity vibe, I've got to be charismatic and beautiful and have lots and lots of people, and it's another ego distortion, I think. Right. I find a lot of those people aren't really that good at what they're talking about. Personally, I respect people who came up more gradually, and you see them and they are really authentic. They walk their talk. They're really they know a lot, and you can feel that when you get around them. Right. And it doesn't necessarily matter how old they are either, because I find a lot of young people today are coming in with great wisdom, and they know things, as much as a 60-year-old would or something. They may be a little naive about relationships or something, but their core wisdom is really good. Yeah. So I don't have any judgment about people's age at all anymore. But I think, yes, you start with your truth, your core vibration, your most favorite interests, your attitude, and you look for people who are, as much as possible, sincerely open to growth, to to what's the right word? I hate this word authenticity, but this thing of like, what is a core match with who you are? What is right for you?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be in products too, not just service businesses.
Yeah.
Right. And you see this now with a lot of businesses that are buy one pair of shoes and we donate one to the kids down in the Amazon, or that there's an aspect of compassion and giving back and human rights and all that kind of thing, working along with our own need to make a living.
Right.
But do I need to make such a living that it's so way beyond others and I get separated again in terms of the hierarchy?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm isolated.
Right.
So I think, that in terms of people, as we go from old perception to new, our reasons for being in business and being successful and having our work be reflections of who we are, these things are evolving right now, and it's not the same as it used to be. It used to be just either hand to mouth, support my family, or make me famous, or I'm going to be the wealthiest person in the world. But now there's other more complex, deeper reasons why we do what we do.
Yeah.
And I also think that our clients are wiser as well.
Yeah, I talk about the conscious client also as yeah, you're right, wiser. I said I chose the word smarter, but in a way, smarter maybe again is the left brain saying yes, they're smart and they're checking things on Google and all of these things, and wiser meaning, yeah, it's more the feeling, right? It's more the emotions, and they choose wisely, meaning they're not just choosing because of the facts and it's the cheapest product. They also want to make a decision that makes sense in a kind of a global, a holistic way. So
Yes.
it's wise for me, but it's wise for the planet. It's it's environmentally friendly, all of these things
Right.
that people pay much more attention to nowadays.
Yeah, it's just like, I think we said, it goes from win-win to win-win-win.
Yeah.
It's not just one polarization of motives. It's like it starts to fill in the circle, like win-win-win goes to win-win-win-win-win-win-win.
Yeah.
Everybody wins by you doing what you love.
Right. Exactly.
And doing a good job of it.
Yeah.
So I think part of the motive that we have for doing what we do is service. I mean, I've seen, like, spiritually, when you have freedom, what do you want to do? Go off and just entertain yourself and have a good time all alone? Or do you want to have other people be in it with you? And the people that you see who are too blocked to be able to have fun, well, then you want to be of service to them so they can get unblocked so you can play with them. It's like, we don't want to just be selfish, because it actually doesn't, it's not the truth.
Right.
The truth is we are all interconnected in such an amazing way that if you're suffering, me too, because then I can't have fun with you.
Right. So is this, again, this paradigm shift that went from I gotta have it all, it was very much about, let me, I always talk in the book and in the program, I talk about these 6 or 7 figure headlines. Like, here's how you build a 6-figure or 7-figure big business. Here, let me show you how I became a millionaire. And all these things that show that the one person made it. And I never thought of it like that, but yeah, they're like, oh, great, you made it. Now you're all by yourself. You're excluded. And so what's shifting? Like, how does this happen that all of a sudden we're like, it's actually not that great if you're up there by yourself?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, I really think it's just this sense of, as the energy increases on the planet, we start to feel the vibration of things. And then my vibration doesn't end at my skin. I feel the vibration of the air, or of the other people on Zoom, or, the tree, and like everything's in this unified field of energy and consciousness. So the idea of separating from that is like, it takes a lot of willpower actually to stay separate.
Right.
Because, it's weird. It used to feel like we had to take a lot of willpower to get connected, but now it's opposite.
Yeah.
Right. So, going back to people and clients and even coworkers, that people, underneath it, we have a kind of, we're all in this world together. We're doing the physical experiment, together. And we're learning to materialize the non-physical reality into form. What else is business? Let's make something, do something, and then exchange it with others and get some of theirs, and they'll get some of mine. That's the marketplace.
Right.
And then we made up money because we thought we needed that kind of thing as the go-between. But when you just get focused on profit, you forget about a lot of the other things. It's like an artificial sort of idea of worth, when it's really not. Now we'll still have money, but money's going to change its role, I think, a lot. But that's another conversation. But
that can go into the
profit
pricing,
or whatever.
probably.
Pricing, yeah. Yeah, but I think we're staying in attunement with what we love, what we're enthusiastic about, and part of that now is not just what I love, but I also find other people love it too. So the people who love this are going to be partly my clients.
Right.
And I'll be their clients, on things that I want to learn more about, that it's on that wavelength.
Yeah.
And I also find then that as we stabilize into the home frequency, which I talk a lot about in my book, Frequency, which is, I always think of it as the soul in the body vibration. You're not in your left brain and being dominated by that kind of consciousness. You're really connected to the universal laws and that inner realm where everything works beautifully. And it's a deeply comfortable place. It's kind of your preferred state, of being. And when you're in that, you get good guidance. You get clear ideas that are just right for you. It's not right or wrong. They're just right ideas that you can just line up with and feel great about. And then they kind of happen. And that was so much fun. And let's do it again. All right. So the more that you stay in that level, you start saturating with that particular kind of frequency. Your body, your emotions, your mind all line up with the core vibe of your own soul or spirit. So everything becomes like an octave of music, right? Low C, middle C, high C, but they're all resonating.
Yeah.
Now you feel like you're really yourself. And it's so easy. At that point, the energy around you starts to saturate with that frequency, your personal field of your aura, or whatever you want to call it, your personal reality. And then that, in a way, acts like a set of instructions to the big field around you that contains everything. So it's like saying, well, my reality is like this, and it works like this. And so then the people who show up will occur out of that frequency, because they'll be of that frequency, matching frequencies. And then you start to get, once you stabilize into that higher vibration, you get really good clients. You get people who aren't victims. You get good coworkers. You get collaborators and so forth. And then things start to work almost like magic. The wheels are greased. But the pre-old consciousness version of that is that I don't trust other people. I can't get good help today. the clients are, they're going to leave at any minute, and, there's no trust.
You need to first get into your own home frequency or good frequency, whatever you want to call it, so that you can then emit this frequency, so that you actually find people who are on the same vibe, so that you attract them. Because if you are still in the low frequency that is based on fear and scarcity, then people will be like,
that's what you get. You get people who, you get that kind of, and it's not that you actually attract them anymore. Once you stabilize the field, they actually emerge out of that frequency. You don't have to use willpower to attract. You just allow the right people, the right opportunities, the right resources, whenever you need, it just kind of starts happening. And the flow takes care of a lot of it. You have a thought, oh, I'd like to, I'd like to write a book on this. And then everything you read, you get pieces of the insights for the thing. It's like it starts showing up everywhere. Or people, you listen to a podcast, they're talking about something you need to hear. It's synchronicity. So there is something there about allowing the emergence of what matches with you at that time, because you're going to evolve, the frequency will evolve, and the people will shift. But if you're stuck at a low frequency where you don't trust, and you're feeling negative, and you need to be manipulative or powerful and all that ego stuff, you're going to get people who have, if you're a domination person, you'll get victims who are trying to dominate by being victims. You'll get the same thing, but maybe in a different guise. And then you'll have to work really hard to get clients, or to keep them, and manipulate them with 1,000 emails that keep banging them over the head with this, here I am.
And then these people will refer you to all their friends who are in the same frequency.
That are in their frequency. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And it's just effortful when you're in low frequencies to do any kind of networking or marketing or, working with others.
It's a constant struggle. And
it's a struggle.
I raise my hand here. It is really a struggle. And I think, again, it comes from this old perception that in order to have a business, to be successful, we have to, do the hard work. And that's where the struggle comes from.
Right. Yeah. Put in your dues and, all that, this is linear, right?
Yeah.
Keep at it. All those things. Cause and effect thinking.
Yeah. I want to read a quote that I'm using also, that I think is nice and brings us kind of back to this idea of the people. So and people, but also us as marketers. So it goes like this: the 21st century marketing paradigm turns marketers into healers, where our role is to cure, restore health, soundness, and spiritual wholeness. And that quote is by Raj Sisodia. So it really resonated with me, this idea of being healers. And this is like a, really, really hardcore marketing guy. But I think he really got this idea of being able to hold space, include and not exclude. That's what he means, in my opinion, by healers. Would you agree with that?
Totally. Yeah. And educators, it's, you don't have to sell people on something. You just need to educate them or inform them.
Right.
Show them things.
Right.
They'll get it. If they're ready, those who have ears to hear, that they will get it. And
again, they're smarter and wiser. So
yes,
you need to push it down their throat. Yes.
Right. If you can describe something to somebody with just 1 degree of difference angle from the norm, they go, oh, they get almost like that. It comes in from a new angle, and they go, oh, I see, and they get the aha. To me, that aha is the best sales tool ever.
Right.
And it's not trying. It's like, let me show you a new way. Let's talk about this and open up and see how this works. And now what kind of products would go along with that, or what kind of services would you need to help you really integrate that
Right.
and come from that and know how to think from that and then do things from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the other thing that resonates with me is this idea of holding space. So again, the conscious client is not the king. He doesn't want to be the king. He wants to be held in the community, and there's a lot of companies who now understand that, you know, building a community makes sense. Some do it really well, and they kind of go down at to the same level as the community. Others are still kind of like, look at us, we're the leaders of this community, and that's not the point of the community.
right, right. That's
So
why I always like to read the customer reviews
mhm.
online, because that's the community in a certain way.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, people who took the time to help other people understand what that product was, you know,
right,
um, and people want to do that.
yeah,
They want to give feedback. They want to share,
so
I
true.
think. And yeah. So, but yeah, the customer, you know, it's not king. It's more um, that, you know, they educate us too.
Hmm.
They show us how we could improve, what's really necessary, maybe how a product or service could do three things at once instead of one.
Hmm.
It could be more efficient, you know. So we need that, you know, because we're working together,
Right,
you
yeah,
know,
it's that
really
together.
helping each other.
Hmm.
um, so I think it's, again, this consciousness of the collective consciousness is starting to come into many things,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So again, if we wrap it up and we compare the old and the new, so we said, okay, the conscious client maybe doesn't want to be the king and just have everything, you know, directed at them. They want to be included. What
Mhm.
else would you say is shifting or already has shifted and will be shifting even more?
Yeah, well, I think the old perception, which we talked about before, is coming from the left brain, which sees everything as separate.
Right.
There's an inside and an outside world,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and your business is your inside world, and the clients are in the outside world over there somewhere.
Right.
So you have to get them. You have to use willpower and cleverness and struggle to go across the empty space to get these people and lure them in and then keep them. And oh boy, the willpower is tremendous. You know, it's exhausting. Um, and sell them even against their wishes, you know, that kind of thing, using trickery or whatever. That's the worst possible scenario, you know,
Yeah.
false advertising. Um, so that the old model requires a lot of willpower and effort, and it's based on separation, which is also always leads to fear in some way. Like, if I don't get enough, then what, you know, and then you know, or if I buy this product, then what? So there's always that fear-based reality.
Mm-hmm.
The new reality is where everything is included in one present moment reality, and it's all interconnected. Everything's already there. You don't have to go attract people because they're already with you. You just have to resonate through the field with um, your truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I told you before, when I was first starting off, I used to go to bed and I'd imagine there was a big lighthouse over my bed that it was light going around and around and around. And I would just say, anybody who needs my help, here I am. I live in this town. Here, this is where I am. You can find me, or we can find each other. And then I go to sleep. And it
Right.
was almost like I sent this like telepathic message out through the field, which there's no distance in the field. Everybody's right there in the present moment. So it doesn't take effort. So part of attracting clients was just talking to them kind of in that other world.
Right.
And, you know, it started working. You know, that's an interesting thing. And, um, you know, so the new perception about people is that you set the tone for your reality. That's your home frequency. and how you like to be and what's really, truly, deeply important to you. And then the people will show up out of the field. They will occur, and they have the same ideas that you do. So there's kind of mutual appreciation then, and then that gets the win-win-win thing going.
Right. Yeah, the way I say it is it's not your job to chase the clients or get them. It's your job though to make them aware that you exist, and you do it with your Light Tower. I do it with messaging and bringing more of your values into the message, but it's not like chasing after them, but it's make them aware that you exist, and this is how you see the world, and these are your stories. So yeah, in a way it's similar, and
that you offer a different kind of advantage that is on a leading edge, but you have to sometimes educate people about what that is. So but that gets into marketing and promotion and so forth. But I think I trust people basically that if you give them something that opens them up to a slightly different, better reality, they'll like take it. If it's too big of a gap, they'll get scared.
They'll be like, what is this?
They don't get it yet. They can't kind of comprehend it yet. And so they're leery about it. But I do think people will grow if they're given the right kind of opportunity, that we want to evolve. We don't really want to stay stuck. But there's a lot of fear. And so there's a huge amount of education that's required right now to help people get out of that old reality. So that they can understand how great it is to let go and to trust. There's a whole new thing coming.
I can't wait for that to come. This has been great. I think we kind of wrapped it up for people. We will be back next week and talk about partnership, because we realized, there's definitely some overlap, because partners are people as well. It's just that as a marketer, I saw people as your ideal clients, but then there's all these other people that we deal with, and these partnerships that we, again, we're going to talk more about it next week, but it's definitely going more into the collaboration and all that beautiful stuff.
That'll be fun.
Do mention your website again, where people can find more about you and your books.
It's just penneypierce.com. PENNEY PEIRCE, Penney Pierce. So everything's on there.
Wonderful. And I'll mention just the one-page marketing plan where you can see the mandala if you're curious, and it takes you through the 7 Ps. And that's at sarahsantacroce.com/1, the number 1 page. You can download that there. So, and we'll be back next week.
See you next week.
Thanks.